Now, obviously Sidney Poitier never shows up, and the staff is like, your dad's probably busy, whatever, your meal is on the house. And so it worked again, flawlessly. And that is when David decides he's gonna keep going as long as possible. Hell, he might even try and get rich off this. But then, bro has a crazy stroke of luck. Because one day, he's visiting a friend up at Connecticut College. And there, he steals another student's address book out of his dorm room. And that student just happens to be kind of rich and has well-connected parents. So now, David has the addresses and phone numbers of all these rich people. Some of them happen to live back in New York City. And this is when he really starts making a name for himself. He starts calling all these well-connected people and basically telling them a bullshit story about how he's Sidney Poitier's kid. And they believe him, and they let him hang out. And so he gets to hang out with, like, Calvin Klein and Melanie Griffith and Gary Sinise. He's the guy who later played Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump. Gary Sinise let him stay the night in the apartment he was living in. And sometimes David will get them to lend him money. So he's, like, making money off of this. And it just continues to work. Like, he'll hit up another rich person, and then another one, and then another one. And soon he's hit up a dozen houses out of this address book that he stole. And every time, they'll let him hang out or stay the night, or they'll give him cash. And as stupid as that sounds, bro is pulling it off. No one really questions him, and no one seems to suspect a thing. Until one day, all that changes, because David is flipping through that address book when he comes across the name of this couple, Mr. and Mrs. Island. And Mr. Island is the president of a television station, so they got money. They're kind of important people. So David cold calls them, and he tells them he's David Poitier, and that he's a friend of their daughter's, and that he was just mugged.